Hello, it's day 5, and I know these aren't 5 consecutive days. I'll tell you guys the truth about that. And I'll also tell all you maybe dreaming game programmers out there that are looking at this video, the 5 of you, that it is hard to continue to make something to the end. And already I feel the feeling for this simple game that I said, oh, I just want to blast it out in a day, that I'm starting to feel the feeling like, oh, I can't continue, or I don't want to continue, or I want to do something else or something different. So this is part of the real challenge of like working on something, to keep working on it till it gets to a finish point. So today, what am I gonna do? What's the game look like right now? Let me just take a look and review it. Oh! It looks kind of like this. The game looks like this right now. Oh! And maybe now is a good time when I'm running out of like steam and energy. Maybe now is a good time to change from using these little blocks to actually using something more exciting looking, like spaceships. Maybe now's the time to work a little bit on the graphics. So let me go ahead and go into some program I call Magical Voxel. It's easy to make models. Okay, they may not be the most efficient models because when you make a Magical Voxel model, there's going to be a lot of faces to it. But let's see what I got here. I had made some spaceships in the past, and I like turning on all these these things. I made some spaceships in the past, and maybe I could use some. Okay, looks like a mothership. So first, in today's thing, let's go over just making some models. We're gonna make a spaceship. All right. So the first thing I'll do is I'll start off with a new. Is this the thing? Oh yeah. So here in Magical Voxel, if you look at the bottom here, there's words. And the other thing is like, ooh, this font is really, really small. So you probably hard to see. But if I press Control and the plus or the minus, I could change the size of the interface fonts. Okay, so I'm doing Control plus, so it's going to be easier for us to read, and me too. So at the bottom here, like I said, whatever my mouse rolls over, it says at the bottom the help for what that is. So if I want to make a new open project, save project, here, new project, I click there, I start new project. The size of the Magical Voxel model, this is the size. And I think it can go up to sizes of like 256 or something like that. But it starts off at 40, 40, 40. The other thing is the Magical Voxel models by default, their base is right here. You know, the origin point for the model is right here at the bottom in the middle. Right here at the bottom in the middle. And the other thing, one more thing is like you'd have to align the Magical Voxel model like this, with the green line going this way and the blue and the red like this. And when you make the model, thinking that this side is the front of whatever you're making. This side is the front. If you line these up like this, just some things to remember. So by default, the base of the origin of the model is down here, but for the games, for the ships, I want to change the origin of the model to be the center. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to click this up and down arrow on the file thing, the show IO setting. And then on the local space, I'm going to select it, local space. And then that means the center of the model will be the center of whatever thing I make. Okay, so let's start. I'll press the clear button, then I'll start making a model. I'm going to use mirroring over here, mirror on the, let's just check to make sure which side I mirror on. I'm going to do attach, I'm going to draw some lines. I'm going to use mirror, color, and it's not mirroring. It's mirroring on the Z up there, so that's the wrong one. Control Z. Is it the Y? Yeah, but the Y is going back in front, so not that one. So it's the X. I want to mirror on the X, and now let's see. That's the way I want to mirror. That green color. Let me pick a different color. Let's make an enemy ship. So my enemies were kind of red, right? So let's pick some reds in here. Ooh, some dull reds. And let's say the enemy ship. Let's have I don't know, start from the middle. It comes down, it comes up, a little out, down, and save some room for the thrusters, or whatever the thrusters that are going to come out of it. Maybe like this. But let me close the top and make sure I don't have any holes. And then I'm going to use the fill. which one's the fill? This one? No, face mode. Is this it? Bam. Yeah. And I raise it up to make like a face. This is raised up 1. I raise it up 2 so that I could have a top and a bottom. And then I'm going to raise this up to the middle. So I'm going to do mirroring also top and bottom. So let me do, I think it's loop. And I just keep moving it up. And you can see on the model, there's lines. So I'm going to wait till I get to this one here. And I can see a line, bam, separating in half in the middle. Okay. Now, from there, I could do, let me change the color, and I'm also going to mirror on the Z now, right? So now if I mirror on the Z, what I do on the top will also happen on the bottom. So there you go. And since I have it like right in the middle, see it's doing it on the top and the bottom. And that, and that, and that. Some kind of blades, okay? And just keep on playing around with more colors. I'll say that. Can I do face mode here? Bam. Okay. Then maybe I don't always want stuff on the top and the bottom. Maybe now I just want something on the top. And I'm going to use color white and make like some kind of cockpit. So when I go to attach and I go to the voxel mode, then there's a size of the voxel. So 1 is just like 1 dot. And then if it was like a 5, then, and by default right now, Control Z, the thing is 3D circle, but it could be 2D circle, which is just like a flat circle, see? Or it could be not a circle, it could be square. And this is going to be my cockpit area way back here, I guess. And then for the fun of it, I'll make something that looks like thrust. I guess it'll start with red. And then maybe then I'll have it go to orange. Oh, you gotta press enter when you change the size. And yellow. Okay, for the fire coming out the back for the thrusters. And then in the front, yeah, maybe I'll add that these guys could shoot. So let me add some guns. A gun right here to the front. Something that looks like a gun. Yeah, and that's the shooter gun. And at the tip of it, because they think I'll make the shots red. I don't know. So then this could be like an enemy ship, maybe, simply. And it's not going to have all these lines on it. When it's in the game, it's going to look more like this. Okay? But I'm just turning on these modeling guidelines. Now I could shrink down the whole size of the space so that the model isn't 40 by 40, but it's just the size of the space. So I think it's this button, fit model size. Bam. Check it out. And now we could export it as an OBJ. So I'm going to export an OBJ, and I'm going to look toward my folder where my game is. Space Game 01, assets. And here's the assets folders. I'm going to make a folder called OBJs. Then in here, I'm going to put this one. What should I name this ship? I'm going to name it Enemy 01. Because as the levels go up, I'll probably make more enemy ships for variation. And then I say save. So that's going to export like 3 files. I should save my file, though this model I made, I should save it. And Magic of Voxel is telling me like, hey, you didn't save it yet. It's got a red thing here. So I press this button, and then I could save it, and it's saving it to the Magical Voxel folder. And then that'll appear here in the list. So let's like shrink that down and go into Unity again. And here's the OBJ folder. Here's the 3 files. Oh, here's the PNG is the actual palette of colors in one strip line. Then this is the OBJ, the mesh model, and then this MTL file, which I think has to do with the information for the model and the material. I don't know. But anyway, so we got one. Let's get another model for Magic of Voxel again. So I go back into Magic of Voxel. I made this ship with you. Now for the second ship, I'm just going to pick one. Ooh, that's like some big kind of mothership. What's a good player? The ship for us, the player. We're blue. Or let's export this one into the objects folder and say save. Okay, and then now here we have 2 models. We have this one and we have the player. So what happens if I kind of drag one of these things in? If I drag the enemy in, I'm going to drag the player into the scene. I'm going to have to go back to scene view instead of game view. I drag the player into the scene. Then we see the player here. Bam. Okay. And there, that's the player. And what happens is we're going to see over here that the player has this upper object player. The top level object is just a empty transform. And then inside, there's this thing called default. And this is where we have the mesh of the player ship. It's in here. It's the default thing. So let me break this prefab. Let me unpack the prefab to separate the two and drag and drop default out from player and then delete player. So now default is just the mesh. And I'm going to make another folder here to keep things organized. Well, I already have the folder. It's the prefabs folder. So this is going to be my player ship. And I just have to add a couple more things here to have it work the way I want. One of the things I want to add is the physics. It needs a collider, a mesh collider. Since it's not a cube, I'm just going to use a mesh collider. And I'll say it's convex. And as you can see, it kind of wraps the whole ship in like gift wrap. Then I need a rigid body. I need a collider and a rigid body to detect collisions. So now I'll add the rigid body. And for the rigid body, I don't want to use gravity. I don't want it to, if it's in outer space, there's nothing to fall down to. I may be taking this floor away. So I have a collider and I have a rigid body. And I think from my player object over here, on the rigid body, if I remember, yeah, I froze position on the Z and rotation on the Y, so that when there was collisions, I didn't start going sideways in angles. So here, on this rigid body, let's freeze the position on the Z, the back and forth. And let's freeze position on, rotation on the Y so it doesn't spin off. Bam. So it keeps going straight. This player ship, let's not delete it yet. Let's just like exclude it from the scene. And then this player will be the ship I'm gonna use. So on the Z, on the X, I just want it to be 0. And as you can see, some of the models like inside the floor. I'm gonna get rid of the floor. For now, I'm hiding the floor, I'm hiding the player. Let me turn gravity off. And I turned gravity off on my player. And it looks like when the game did start to play, it had an error. It says the player shot pool of player has not been assigned. Okay, so here's my player in the scene. Player shot pool. Here I have the pools. Let me define the player shot pool. And explosion pool, let me say explode player pool. Maybe I could fix the namings here a little bit more because I did get confused. This is the player explosion. I think I can make that bigger so we can see it easier. And this one is the enemy explosion. And then we can make names more clear. This is the player explosion pool. This one's kind of named, but let me rename it. Player explosion pool. And I'm wondering if I do need these pools because I remember with the explosions, they were just particle effects that get created and then they get destroyed. This is the enemy explosion pool. And let's see what happens now. Okay, I could shoot. Oh man, but my shots are making my ship kind of go off target. So I think I have some other settings that I didn't finish doing yet. Like from the original player object, I have tag player, layer player. And on this player object, let me do the tag player. And let me do the layer. I got these red arrows. That's better. Okay, now I don't see the explosions happening anymore. The explosions are happening from the shot. Yeah. See, now I'm trying to use the scripts around a lot more. The names matter a lot more. And this says object reference not instance of an object. It couldn't find the explosion pool object. In the script now, it's called enemy explosion pool. And I was wondering if I needed the explosion pools. The explosion prefab. Let me go look in the project. Here's the particle system thing, and I think it says, it's very small text, sorry. Stop action. When the thing stops, then I could destroy. And then over here, I could just always be instantiating instead of the complexities of a pool. So let me comment this out and see if the explosions happen still, and without a pool. I don't even know what I'm saying I'm doing in this video. It's just a bunch of random fixer-upper stuff, trying to make the graphics better. Okay. So the explosions are happening. And I lost. When my ship is getting hit, it is going off target. It is like floating off target. So I guess I could lock the player ship on some more axes, but since I made it a prefab, let me do it over here in the prefab. So for the rigid body, the position on the Z stays the same. The position on the Y, I want it to stay the same, so it doesn't go up and down. And I guess all the angles, I want them to stay the same. So the only position is on the X that could move. And that's the prefab that I just affected. So that means here in the game, that's affected. Now I press play to stop that drifting when this model moves. Oh, oh, oh! There, I got hit 3 times. Okay, that fixed that. All right, so I got my ship moving back and forth. And, you know, I kind of liked it when I kind of got hit and I drifted off. It really made an effect feeling for me that I got hit. But if all right, well, here we go. Another thing, when you're making a video game, you'll start going off on tangents. Like I almost could go off on a tangent and like not have a set of things that I want to complete, and then I lose time as well. So first I said I just want to replace the graphics from the cubes, you know. So I did replace the graphics for the cube for the player ship. Now I should do it for the enemies.